Chapter 13 and 14 review of Poppy and Rye by Avi. The main characters in these two chapters are Rye, Mr. Kanad, and Erith. Chapter 13. Rye was wandering around, hardly knowing what to think about the news of Ragweed's death. He was confused, humiliated, and upset that he had danced with the mouse that had once loved his brother. And now Rye loved Poppy. He hoped that Poppy felt the same about him. He was mad at himself, thinking only about what he wanted and his horrible thoughts about Ragweed. He felt everyone hated him. He looked down at the pond and got even madder thinking about those rotten beavers and all of the trouble they caused. Then he had an idea. If he could somehow force the beavers to move away, he would be a hero to his family, and maybe even Poppy. He didn't know how to make this happen, but he had to try. He, like the rest of his family, was a good swimmer, and he remembered his father telling him that the beavers got into their lodges by an underwater passageway. He dove in and swam out to the main lodge. He saw some beavers working. He took a deep breath and swam blindly into the dark water, hoping he could find the passageway before his lungs gave out and he drowned. He found the hole and swam up into it just in time and reached air and gasped. He opened his eyes, and staring him right in the face was Mr. Kanad the beaver. Chapter 14. This is a short chapter all about Erith. He again is mad and grumbling to himself that he admitted to loving Poppy, and how could she call herself his friend when she went off and left him alone in a rainstorm? He hid in an old log until the storm passed, then made his way back to the cottonwood tree where she left him. He walked a while and saw no sign of Poppy. He decided he was going back to Dimwood Forest. Before long, he came to a huge meadow and, being grumpy and not looking where he was going, walked into a thicket of berry brambles and vines and got his quills tangled and stuck and couldn't move. At first he was mad, then relieved because he was exhausted. He just stayed still and realized that maybe Poppy was right. He was old, and maybe he should stay here and die. The more he thought about Poppy, the more he missed her, and he hoped someday he could tell her what a kind, good-natured friend she really was.